look, all good things come to an end, right? This was unfortunately a loss here for the Flyers, 6-4 to the Colorado Avalanche. Very frustrating loss in a lot of ways, I think, because obviously they don't win again. They lose. The 5-game win streak comes to an end. You lose Owen Tippett. That is the biggest thing out of this game. It looked bad. I am really, 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 really hoping that is only the worst possible situation for that is day to day, if anything. I really don't want to see Tippett get hurt. It's really not the most ideal situation. It just sucks. The entire thing sucks. So yeah, I mean to kind of go off of that. This one was frustrating. I mean, the Avs, they get the first two in the first period. And it's just one of those games where just like everything was going in the Flyers' net, and it was just like, oh my god! And every bounce was helping Colorado. 1-0. The first goal, before I get into the period, they went with the exact same lines they did against Dallas. Tippett, Couturier, Konechny, Forrester, Lawton, Hathaway, Farabee, Frost, Atkinson, Paling, and Cates. So 11 and 7. Sanheim, Drysdale, Sealer, Walker, York, Risto, Zamula, and Carter Hart was in net, who I didn't think played that bad in this game. The first goal is not a goal. It's a kick. I'm sorry. I mean, it's not if you're moving your leg up, you're moving your leg up. You're not extending your foot, which is what O'Connor did. It's a blatant kick. I can't. I don't know why that is a goal. Why that's allowed. So it's 1-0. It counts. They review it. They say it's fine. Whatever, right? That is what it is. 2-0. They get a power play. It's Rantanen. As soon as it ended, they ended up getting set up, and Sanheim went to the other side of the ice out of the box, and no one covered Rantanen. And MacKinnon just went off in the second period. He makes it 3-0. The Flyers get one back. Farabee scores. It's 3-1. O'Connor scores. What is going on? The third and fourth goal, the left defenseman goes up the ice. Sanheim goes up on the first one, no one covers him back. Zamula goes up on the fourth one, no one covers him coming back. And the Avs go right down and score, and it's 2 goals where I'm just like, WTF? Like, what is going on? Like, I am, and I'm not even that mad at the game, that the fact that they lost. It was just like, I'm more upset that Tippett got hurt. That's what I'm mad at. And frustrated at, because it's like everything was going right. Everything was fine. And now we have to worry about Tippett with an injury. And a guy who's been hot and, of course, scores one of the best goals that I've seen in 10 years watching this team, the last game, and now he has to get hurt. It's just so unbelievably frustrating sometimes watching the Flyers when I just feel like they have the worst bad luck sometimes. And it might sound like an overreaction. It's because I'm still mad that they obviously lost the game, and B, because of the injury too. But it's very, very, very aggravating. I mean, I think there were a lot of positives in this game, though, and we'll get to that in a minute. The Flyers get one back, Konechny scores, and then 5-2. It's like every bounce just goes in. That was probably the one Hart should have had out of all of them. I don't blame Hart for any of this. I don't blame Hart for any recent stretch. We'll talk about that here in a second. 5-3, Forrester. 5-4, Atkinson. Again, I say this all the time, everything just is just, they end up going, a couple of minutes there where they had a couple of good shifts. They had a really good shift after the fourth goal from Atkinson. Like, all right, they might tie this. Colorado gets the power play. This is where my problem comes with this. In a 1-goal game, a team just scored 2 goals, and Forrester gets blatantly hit by MacKinnon. They don't call it. It's total interference. I don't care what anyone says. It's interference. By the rule book, it's interference. They don't call it. Then they call Lawton for this ticky-tack hooking call, which that's a penalty too. But if you're going to call it tight when things are actually penalties. So don't let the Avs, star in MacKinnon knock down a rookie, right, and just be able to get away with it, and then call Scott Lawton for a hook. That's just, it's not right, and it's a bad call, and and of course they score on it. 6-4. Rantanen scores in tight, and then O'Connor would get the hat trick at the end, 7-4. I know I said 6-4 at the beginning. I forgot that they had the empty netter. I was so upset about the Tippett injury, because that's the biggest thing out of this game, right? I don't think anyone really gives a shit that they lost. It's the fact that you lost one of your better young forwards in this one, and now it's like, now what? That's the frustrating thing to me, is the fact that now we have to worry that Tippett is going to be okay. And that's what's frustrating, is like, everything was going so good. They were winning. And again, the process wasn't bad. They had a ton of shots. They had a ton of chances. They had 40 shots on net to the Avs 25. And, it was just one of those games where everything was going in. All the good things were just going wrong. And it just felt like one of those games where, unfortunately, everything was just going to end up in your net, and that was what happened. As for the Carter Hart thing, I'll park some time for this here at the end. Carter Hart is still my number one goaltender. Carter Hart is still a very good goaltender. Sam Ersson has not even played 50 games in the NHL, and Sam Ersson is still very young, and I don't think many NHL players or teams or whoever has really been able to read off of Ersson, because he's played so little. So let's pump the brakes on the Ersson's better than Hart thing, because it's A, it's not true. B, it's just way too early to even consider saying something like that. And C, if the playoffs had started today, Carter Hart is still my goaltender. So there you go. I mean, I don't know how much more I really have to say about this. Hart in his last 11 starts has a .915 save percentage. So I'm not really going to sit here and say Carter Hart has been bad or anything like that. Yes, soft goal here or there. And I've said that, and obviously Carter Hart knows, what he wants back and what he doesn't. It'll be interesting, I think, in the offseason with the timing and everything of him and being a restricted free agent in the contract. And if he resigns, if the Flyers trade his rights, if that even happens, whatever, right? So that's, I think, where the hard stuff comes in, because it's like everyone looks at like the future and who we have, and everyone gets so, I think, they put a little bit of gloss on the word rebuild, and they like that, and they like the idea of having so many good young goaltenders that Carter Hart is just old news. And that's the problem, and that's the one thing that I just look at and I'm just like, no, like I'm sorry. It's just, to me, it's gonna sound mean. It's just flat out dumb, I think. And I don't look at it as something that is, very, I guess, knowledgeable to say. Like, I see it all the time, and I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, it just seems like we always want the shiny new toy that's in front of us instead of the thing that's always worked. And like, I get that, that's something that, you can want, but Carter Hart's still a very good goaltender, and there's no reason to want him gone because of a couple soft ones. Like, the 6-1, if you really want to say anything, the 6-1 Ersson should have had. I mean, it sat in his pads and squeaked through. So, I mean, when you need a save, that's when you need a save on. For a guy to come in, you get a jolt from that. You get 2 goals. It's a 1-goal game, and then he gives that up on the power play. Like, if you want to really make the argument, there's that right there. So, I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and blame Ersson or really blame Hart, because I just, I think it made sense for Hart to get pulled, because, again, it's 5-2. You kind of have to at that point. It just, just to give the team a spark. I don't think it's anything against Hart. I think that was just kind of, and it worked. I mean, towards his credit, it worked, and unfortunately they do lose this one. So, kind of fingers crossed here with Tippett. I mean, hopefully that's nothing crazy. They did tweet out he wasn't returning, and he will be reevaluated. So we shall see. Get back tomorrow. That's the best thing about a back-to-back and a home and home, or a home and a home game, not a home and home against Colorado. That'd be a really weird schedule if they had a home and home against Colorado. That's the best thing about this. Shut the door on this one. You go into Ottawa tomorrow, who's been horrific all year. Hopefully the Flyers can kind of get back on the winning streak and win that one. Thanks everybody again for all the support as always. Really fun time on the watch party as well, even though they did lose. We'll be doing a couple more of those this year as well. And again, like I said, thanks everybody again for all the support as always. Make sure to check out Maher Media for all the things that we do. And my name is Chris, and I will talk to you all again soon. Bye.